We're gonna see if everything meets the county code. So stick around, let's see how this all turns out. So this system we're putting in is definitely an unconventional septic system. I mean, we had to jump through so many hoops. It was such a pain. I began to wonder, like, was someone even trying to keep us from installing it? You know, did people not want us to know about it? And the question we're gonna ask ourselves is, will it even pass these inspections? I think we're about to find out. Woo! It's about time! It's about time to put the septic tank in the ground. I've been waiting on this thing forever. So I'm gonna be getting the tank into the ground, getting it set up, getting it ready for the inspection. As I mentioned on the last video, I dug a little too deep. So I'm gonna have to do a little reverse digging. I'm gonna have to put some of this back in to get it settled, put the barrel in, then I'm almost set. Just here, she made it into the video. What's up, girl?
What's up? So one of the first things we had to do before we could even get our building permit was to get our soil tested for septic.
I remember that.
So we had the excavator come out, dig some test pits, and it turned out to be acceptable. But we wanted to find out if we could do some kind of alternative system because we wanted to do composting toilets.
Yeah, I mean, it makes so much sense out here. Saves on so much water, cost, better for the environment than basically any other toilet system.
So we went to the county office and we tried talking to people to see what our options were for septic and if there were any alternative systems we could do. And I felt like we got a lot of confusing information. So we ended up talking to just a lot of different people and doing our own research. And eventually what we found out was a little known option that would end up saving us thousands of dollars.
It's crazy.
Actually, before 2005, composting toilets were not legal in Arizona at all, even in rural areas. I think unless the soil was just completely inadequate for septic. After 2005, composting toilets were allowed, but it was only the manufactured kinds. Those can sometimes cost thousands of dollars and require professional installation.
That ain't saving you any money.
So around 2012, there was this group of composting toilet advocates, and they were working towards changing some of the laws. And they had this pilot program where they had barrel composting toilets. After about a year, they sent samples from these different toilets to a microbiology lab. They tested them, and they found out that they were completely safe to be used in a garden.
Completely safe for the garden, y'all.
So that led the way for them to rewrite the laws regarding composting toilets. Of course, it still took years after that for them to be approved statewide. And the people working to change those laws, they said that the state seemed reluctant to do that because they knew it would set a precedent for these alternative systems, and they were afraid of what that would mean.
Government doesn't want you installing your own septic system.
So even though it was scientifically proven to be completely safe and perhaps safer than a conventional septic, there's still this fear around it.
Fecal phobia is a thing. Check that out.
We've touched on in some previous videos, the system we're trying to get installed and approved is using this barrel composting toilet in conjunction with a very small septic that would basically only be for kitchen sink water.
Because, as previously stated, kitchen sink water is still considered black water. They want something for that.
Yeah, and all other household wastewater would be going through a gray water system.
To finish off the barrel for the first inspection, I need to add a section of 4-inch pipe, 2 feet to be exact. This will go right in here, and then we'll be almost ready. Luckily I had this piece left over from our water harvesting install, so I didn't need to go out and get anything. I already had this ready to go. So the tank should be ready now. Now I'm just gonna backfill around the tank, and I think I'll be ready to go for the first inspection.
So our experience with trying to get this system has been that it was very difficult to even find out about it. It's somewhat new, and that's probably a big reason why it's so difficult, because not a lot of people know about it. There's just not a lot of information out there.
Are we pioneers on this?
Kind of.
You heard it here first.
And I think going along with that is the fear of the unknown.
There's a lot of fear of ground contamination, a lot of fear of health risks, but really, composting is really the best, most efficient way to take care of human waste. Pooping in buckets, y'all, it's the future. But not only that, I mean, do you think the government and the contractors, do you think they want you installing your own septic system, perhaps saving thousands of dollars? No.
There isn't that monetary incentive to really push for a system like that, where a homeowner could potentially do it themselves.
Yeah, money's what it's all about. Money talks.
So like the smallest conventional septic we could get out here would cost, what, maybe $5,000?
The cheapest is like $5,000, $5,500, somewhere right around there. Psh.
And a manufactured composting toilet, like I said, could be thousands of dollars. There's probably not a lot of companies or agencies that are going to have that incentive to spread that information widely.
Exactly.
But we're going to do that.
We're giving you the info so you can get around the government.
So I guess the big question on our minds is, did we get enough information to build this system, to install it correctly so that we can pass these inspections?
Exactly. Do we have all the necessary information? Can we build this to the correct specifications to meet those requirements so the government gets off our backs?
And so that we can move forward with our plans to build our dream home.
We are so ready to build this house. So I'm thinking that's all I need to do now for the inspection, and now I guess it's just a waiting game now. First I was waiting for the excavator with the barrel. Now we're waiting on the county for the first inspection. Hopefully it goes the way we want. All right, so you can see the inspector has come and he's left. So we had our inspection. We passed, y'all! Yeah! So I'm gonna give you the nitty-gritty on what's going on. I'm gonna take you through and tell you what needs to happen next. So this inspection process went very simply. Right now, especially since this is so new, these inspectors have not seen this type of system put in. They're used to the regular septic system. So he was not familiar with exactly how these need to look. He's kind of going off of the design that I put together. And they're mainly concerned about the trench depth and length. This septic system is basically in conjunction with a 3-barrel composting toilet. And he wasn't even interested in that. He's like, okay, so you got that somewhere? And I'm like, yeah, we got it right over here. But he didn't need to look at it. He just wants to know it's there. We passed the first inspection, but some things are gonna need to change. So my trench depth was perfect. What isn't though is the length. And that is because of the 2-foot pipe I added to the end of the barrel. Apparently, the trench technically starts 2 feet after the barrel. I didn't know that, he didn't know that. That was something the excavator told me a little later on during that second meeting, that this pipe needs to be on there. And then the inspector told me that the trench actually starts at that point at the end of the pipe. So this will all get filled with soil up to the end of that pipe. The rest of that will get filled with gravel, and I'll need to basically be able to fit 30 feet of the perforated pipe in there comfortably. So I might have to dig out that trench another foot to compensate. So basically, I just got a little bit more work to do, and then we can get the second inspection. So where we're at, I'm so ready for this second inspection. I think the first one was really easy. The second one though, I think there's gonna be a little bit more to it, because I gotta make sure this water moves away from this container. So wish us luck. Hopefully that second inspection goes the way we want it to.